Every artist must develop a voice. You know, just like you can listen to Frank Sinatra, you know how his voice sounds. You know, you go Bo Diddley, you know how his voice sounds. And so as an artist, I found something very fascinating about wax and dyes. At the Art Institute of Chicago, the woman came in and she had a scarf and did a scarf much like this, you know. We were doing them, and I just love the color quality. I love what happens when you take them and you put wax on them and you crush them. So it kind of reminded me of growing up where we didn't have a lot of things. It was dingy, but it was clean. It kind of reminded me of my existence and a lot of the people around me, our existence, really, African Americans, because we always had hand-me-downs and all that kind of thing. And so I remember looking at those scars and saying, what if I try to paint with this? See, this is called a jaunting tool, T-J-A-U-N-T-I-N-G, jaunting. And this is the tool that is used in batik to make lines. See, so for instance, I could draw with this. I can make patterns with this. Well, if you try to paint with it, the problem you run into is control, because dye runs all over the place. I began experimenting with different fabrics. No silk, because it's too expensive. So I use cotton. Cotton holds the dye in. And you know, sometimes you dip it in the wrong color and it changes the mood of everything. So I had to throw it away. People, when I tell that story on lecture, people say, well, where did you throw it? I found out that I could do things with it that nobody else could do in painting. It's my voice, and I think people, when they see that painting, they know that that was done by me. I did a talk in Anderson for Martin Luther King Day. They had that. And there was a thing that Martin Luther King said that I think is so important. I have it right here and here. I'm looking at it now. It says, almost always the creative, dedicated minority has made the world better, because you bring into this sphere of what is there something that is uniquely yours. What batik does, because it's wet and you have to dry it, it slows down the work. But to me, because the medium itself forces you to slow down, then it also allows you to think about what you're doing, to think about the feeling and about the emotion. I react to things. That's what happened with the Mother Emanuel. What I wanted to do was to show the transformation from the hate to redemption. Started with the Confederate flag, then the blood of the flag, that red of the flag became less important. And so I had to think, you know, what do I do for the last one? And then I thought that people think that this thing is so unique that for African Americans, 9 people killed, that this is horrendous, and yet it's the stony road we trod. And so what I did was thought of Weldon Johnson's music from Lift Every Voice and Sing. And there's a line in there that says, we have come over a way that with tears have been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered. One of the things that I always tried to do, and I've been on too many boards, but when I get on a board, more often than not, I'm the only African American on the board. And one of the things I try to do is persuade the board to look for other African Americans. I got this idea about getting people on boards from one of my professors, Ms. Weber, who was a professor at South Carolina State. One of the reasons I stayed in South Carolina is because South Carolina was the only southern state that did not have an art department in its major university. And I thought that was unfair to our students. And so I wanted to build an art department at South Carolina State. And that's what I'm most proud of. I never wanted to be a one-hit wonder. Duke of Earl. I never wanted to be a Duke of Earl because I think sustenance is so important. If you can, success can come, but can you sustain success? Because you can't lose that concentration. And I never did. And I feel good about that.